Hello, adventurer. I'm Leland Steele. After 200 sessions, I'd hope that you know that by now. Obviously, we never would have dreamed that our first campaign would reach this milestone. Certainly not something that we ever planned to achieve. Maybe we're running a little long in the tooth, but I do feel like the strength of the storytelling, our combined storytelling, is always what's made our show interesting and what has kept the five of us continuously engaged since we launched our first episodes. So thank you all for helping us get here, and of course riding in the back of that Neogi hatchling-filled wagon right there with us. And in case you need it, here's what happened last time on the Incorrigible Party. Our separated party members finally have a rendezvous point, each pressing on through the night and into the early morning, eager to reunite north of Zexa in pursuit of what they hope is a common goal in keeping the eyes of Dendar away from Isabella Good. Now, let's get back to the show. Shakara, your zombie-ish... Yeah, zombie-ish. They're zombie-ish guard
Piles
has
of mush.
the second. Yeah, your zombie mush, your mush mounds. They've the one you've set to clearing the cave has rid it of the severed hands and the rotting additional parts that are kind of left over after you've raised dead. It seems like the smell, like it's definitely made an improvement on the smell, but you may just be getting used to it. So you can't really tell, but you might be smell blind to it.
Go stand out front with the other and wait for anybody to approach.
And it kind of, when it moves, it's kind of like squishes. So it's like squishy, like soppy footprints as it moves. So it will join the second mush mound at the entrance of the cave.
I will turn and look at Hulsa. And then I'll turn to Grimby. Grimby, I am worried. We will be going up against Isabella, and it may not go our way. If Dendar is brought back, those not in the family will perish, and I could not stand to lose you. Would you be willing to join my family, to give me that peace of mind?
Shakara, I'm not one for the gods. I'd be a worshipper of the wind and the sea, and that'd be about it. And I'm not privy to the words that Braun and Dreg shared, but I do know that I don't think I want much of this Dendar business. And look, I know you have your reasons for using it and letting it change you. I seen more than most when it comes to what be scaring and spooking a lot of us in this world. What be making us feel powerless and a little hopeless. But I seen what you done for Hulsa and Campbell and even Dreg, offering him what he thought he needed at the time. But killing and revenge, it'd be heavy business. And it'd be taking a toll on those looking for it. Now, whether that be necessary or not, I don't think it's as simple as the thing to say yay or nay to, any more than picking between the bowline or hitch knot. But what be simple to me, Shakara, is the faith I have in you. I think ye be the strongest, meanest son bitch I ever met, and, well, I'd be proud to tell you that I love you. And I'd be proud to join with you. For you, and only you. So I'd be more than happy to be part of your family.
I would very much like that, Grimby. I love you too. And Hulsa. I want us to be together. Always. And joining my family does not mean you have to seek revenge. It does not mean you have to take any dark turns you do not wish. Know that I would support you in anything that you would want to do, even if eventually you decided you wanted to leave the family. Though that would break my heart. And I will kneel from our cuddle puddle, get on my knees, and I'll turn him to face me, put our foreheads together, and clasp our hands together. This will be my way of joining the family. And my hair will start to move and it like it's blowing in the wind, but there is no wind. And it will become viney and thorny and wrap around our clasped hands and go over both me and Grimby. And the thorns will get bigger and they'll start to dig into our arms a little bit and wrap tighter around us and tighter and start to get warmer and hotter and heat up. And the vines will burn away, leaving behind scars from the thorns and a brand reminiscent of when I used to mark my deeds. So that we are now have one brand that goes from one of us to the other of us in a continual line.
And, Grimby, like, kind of winces slightly, right, as the thorns dig into both of your flesh and burn away. He, like, keeps you grasped, for a few moments longer after they've dissipated, and then kind of, releases you as you kind of release each other, right? I won't be leaving, Shakara. I support you in decisions. Oh my god, I got a bit of a mush there, huh? I'm a bit of all flustered. I used to be supporting you in your choices, and I think we've been apart for too long. Now, our paths, they go in one direction.
I will put my hands on either side of his face, and I'll look at him in the eye. I am yours, and you are mine.
And Grimby he just kind of like smiles and nod, and you can see like Halsa looks pretty happy as she's like taking all of this in, right? As it's very clear that like both Grimby and Halsa have formed some kind of bond, being aboard the Rising Four. Clearly Grimby is protective of Halsa in addition to being protective of you.
And I will give him a hug, and I will pull Halsa into the hug.
And Grimby will wrap both of his big arms around the two of you. So Halsa and Grimby are still kind of in the middle of this long rest of theirs. So would you like to just go back to the cuddle puddle knowing that the entrance is guarded by the mush mounds?
Knowing they're both tired and still needing the rest, and that supposedly we're waiting on the others to join us here and we have nowhere else we need to be currently. Yes, I think we'll just go back to resting.
A number of hours continue to tick by, and you hear the mush mounds like stirring. Like they like try to vocalize, and it kind of comes out of like this warbled gurgle. Mia and Falzern leaving the Paladin Tower. Do you want to move at a normal pace or set a fast pace?
I honestly think Mia wouldn't care at this point. She'd just be going.
Yeah, I think we need to get there as quickly as possible because Falzern's worried that, how long can Samuel remain in the state that he's in? Like, we have no idea what's going on with him. So I think I'd be willing to be a little bit less aware of my surroundings to make as quick a time as we can.
Player to player here. We really cared about Samuel because his armor was going to help secure the win in this war. If the war is over, do we still care that much? Thought asked. Question asked.
I think we don't know how many Neogi survived, right?
Mia, I think, is more tied to really respected the guy, and there's whole armies or whatever is saved left waiting on him, right? So it seems like a priority, but yeah, it's as far as I don't mean to dive too into it, right? But we don't care the world depends on it anymore, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like there's less impetus to as far as we know, the majority of the Neogi either launched into the wild space or perished in the magma, hopefully. But yeah,
Hopefully.
I think we can't be certain that there's no Neogi left, so he's not as much of an integral part of the situation anymore, I think. But yeah, I don't know. I think we do a fast pace.
I think so too. I think it's just like we're in this like reckless abandon, adrenaline all like going just yeah.
So by now it's been about 5 hours since you exited that Neogi cave at the new front line, and you're pretty nearing daybreak. As you depart from the camp, again it looks like the survivors from Drukal have stopped filtering in, and the city has now just been swept over with this lava flow. It's clearly spilled over the 15-foot wall that serves as the perimeter of the city into the streets itself, and just continues to pour over and into it.
Ugh.
A fast pace takes you kind of across, so there's across that main road that connects Drukal to Altenshik, of which you can't really take because you're moving more south, right? And across the barren land into what starts to become the foothills that kind of surround the northern part of Zexa. So you want to just push on, because now you basically hit kind of the foothills, and now you've been up for just over 24 hours. So now each of you can roll me that Constitution saving throw, DC 10, to avoid a level of exhaustion.
Mia rolled a 16.
Oh boy. Falzern rolled a 5. Falzern has a 5. Rolled a nat 1.
Okay, that unfortunately is a failure for Falzern. So you're inflicted with a 1 level of exhaustion, which will give you disadvantage on ability checks. Okay, so do you want to push on?
Well, I'm already exhausted. Might as well keep going now.
How's Alamar looking?
Almar seems like he's fine.
Balzern, are you good to keep going?
I am tired, but I've been through worse. There's no point in slowing down now. Let's keep going.
Okay, side note. You know where you're going? Because I have no idea where we're going.
Yes, I've been here before. I should be able to find it.
Okay, because, being with the group, I know that Shaft is kind of the navigator. Just checking.
Could each of you give me a perception check?
Oh, now I roll. Good. Nat 20.
Well, you have disadvantage on that.
I got a 21.
15.
So both of you, as you are progressing, maybe Falzern's breathing kind of intensifies a little bit after taking that level of exhaustion. Like you're in the early hours of the morning now, right? So the sun is starting to rise, and this far south, like you're out of the ash cloud essentially from the eruption, right? So it's fairly, you can have pretty good visibility, maybe not distance wise from where you are, because now that you're in the hills, you don't have a clear line of sight in every direction, right? But eventually continuing south into the hills, you come across a trail, tracks. Where you found them, they have come from a more kind of easterly direction. It looks like there's approximately 4, could be as many as 4 sets of boot prints, but they're kind of interspersed with long drag marks, in addition to those of like hoof prints from a horse. And where you found them, they again, it's kind of from an easternly direction, but they do veer south in the same direction of which you were traveling.
So Shaft is a halfling, but does he have exceptionally small feet, or not so much?
In this, these boot prints do not look like they are halfling-sized footprints. They, standard like medium-sized humanoid. Definitely not the distinct boot print of a halfling.
And is it? You said they're drag marks. Does it look like a big smudge, as though it's like a large item that's being dragged, or like small tracks as though it's something that's like on skis or like a sled of some sort? Or
It clearly looks like something like maybe like shoulder width is dragging behind the horse prints specifically.
so potentially a body being dragged or something that size.
Can Shakara still summon Buttercup? Is that still a thing with her?
As far as you know, yeah.
And then, do we know if spectral horses make footprints?
Well, Buttercup is not a spectral horse.
Or
Buttercup
hoofprints?
is
Oh,
a
okay.
proper, like, physicalized war horse when she's summoned.
That can just be summoned. Okay.
And again, they seem to be progressing in the same direction in which you're traveling.
You just keep leading the way, Falzarin, and hopefully they're friendly if we run into them.
I mean, perhaps this is Shakara? I don't know. But yes, there's not much else we're going to do.
Yeah, drag marks or like a big, Umber Hulk with a limp. We'll maybe find out.
Mia, Alamar, noticing these tracks, which I'm not entirely sure I recognize as far as there being halfling footprints. Maybe we travel a bit longer and then slow our pace a bit so we can, be a bit more aware of our surroundings and not have someone get the jump on us.
I mean, I found the trail pretty easily, but okay.
We're almost there, so we don't have much farther to go.
Okay.
Onward. And it's a fairly short amount of time before another set of tracks kind of joins the set in which you are following. And this does look like boot prints of a child.
Oh.
Well, these boot prints do look a bit familiar.
Is it just one set of prints that joins?
Just the single smaller footprint that joins the kind of drag marks with the horse and the additional medium-sized boot prints.
I mean, Falzarin, I'm intrigued. We know Shaft likes to go solo. Maybe he was taking a alternate route or something.
Yeah, who knows? But let's keep going and just keep your eyes open.
Okay, what should I be looking for? What's this place look like?
I'll know it when I see it, but I mean just keep your eyes open for anything that might look threatening.
Always.
All right, each of you can give me another perception here then as you continue.
Oh, man, that's painful. I've rolled nat 20s twice now with disadvantage, and you just have to throw it away. 16 for Falzarin.
Mia got a 19.
The child, the halfling prince, they they kind of start to veer away from the main drag marks, just into this kind of around one of these little hills into more of a bit of a place of cover. Shaft, you're woken by voices. Only about a couple hours into your long rest, and Mia, Falzarin, and Thuff the Younger nearly run right over you as they kind of circumvent this hillock that you've nestled against to take shelter for your rest.
Again, I hear the voices. I sort of roll over, grab my my short sword, and lean over, and then I realize I recognize the voices and sort of poke my head up over the short weeds. What are you guys doing here?
Shaft! Hey!
What the hell's going on? What?
Do we need to be quiet? Are you hiding? What's happening?
No, I'm... How did you get here?
Did you get my message? You're meeting us?
Well, in a roundabout way, yeah. I mean, I'm not about meeting you per se, but I'm headed to the cave near Zexa to meet up with Shakara.
Okay, do you need to keep resting, or...?
Yeah, I could use a little bit of time here before we take off again. I'm exhausted.
Hey, I know a guy who has a hut.
Yes, I have a lot of questions, but I suppose they can wait.
What the hell's that? And I point up towards the mountain that exploded in the ash.
Okay, I look at Falzarin. Short story. I might be able to tell you a short story. It's faster than talking to Falzarin. Let's see. I just look over at Thuft. Alamar?
I look at Falzarin and I go, "Are you responsible?"
Not directly. Also, is Shakara gonna be? Are we keeping her waiting if we bed down for a while?
I don't know. I don't know if she's there or not. I see some tracks. I've been following them. I think she's ahead, but she can't be too far ahead. I've been booking it for the last day or so, and she can't be too far ahead of us.
Okay, well, so that mountain is a volcano.
3 volcanoes, Miss Brightwood.
Shaft, do you remember Alamar?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in Thuff the Younger's body now.
Okay, how you doing, Alamar?
Hello, Shaft.
Things are they looking up for you, you think?
They are quite bleak, actually, at the moment.
Okay, so everything's tracking.
It's generally same. We basically got rid of the Nyogi.
The Nyogi had an escape plan that involved more or less blowing up the mountain, and that's what's happened.
Maybe there was like some deception from the Nyogi god involved. Falzarin might not have been totally himself. Falzarin never gave me your note, because it wasn't Falzarin. It was Kreckelsprach.
What are you talking about?
Shaft just needs the highlights.
The highlights, Falzarin, the Nyogi god was in your body for who knows how long. Well, we know how
what?
long. Yeah, when he got resurrected, it wasn't Falzarin anymore, so it's weird, but Falzarin's back. He's fine.
How do you know it's Falzarin now? I poke him a couple times. How do I know it's you?
Shaft, it's me. Trust me. You know it's me because I'm upset that you took off.
Quick, tell each other a secret. Mia's like excited to hear something.
I look over at Mia and sort of give her a grin and smile. All right, it's Falzarin.
Anyway, yes, as far as we know, the Nyogi have taken off in these ships, and they're no longer anywhere around here. They've retreated, essentially, and left Aspara.
Good, so we're off the hook on that thing, then, for bringing you back.
Yeah, we said no to the bargain, and then the mountain blew up. So, I mean, off the hook, sure, but thousands of people have died?
Yeah, I knew it'd work out one way or another.
We tried our best to save every last one of them.
I mean, I know it's hitting Jakal, and there's going to be a big problem there, for sure.
Did you take your savings out before you left?
Well, I guess there was going to be a little bit of money that gets lost here. But that's the least of our worries.
Are we resting here then, or what's... I don't see why not. Like, we're exhausted.
Long story short, and I sort of sit back and go, well, I don't know if I can tell it the short way, but essentially Isabella has Nina. All I gotta do is get the eyes to her, and I can get her back.
No.
Shakara's helping. But listen, all I want to do is get her back. After that, whatever happens, happens.
That doesn't seem like a good plan, Shaft.
Look, they were going to get there anyway. This way, at least I can get her back.
Almar, tell him. He can't give them to Isabella.
They must not be in Isabella's hands. Not on Heraklion.
We have the eyes. I really don't plan on giving them to her. But I gotta get back what I need first.
Yeah, but what about... They're gonna be like resurrecting a god, Shaft. It's a big deal. We just rid Aspara of the Nyogi, and to say that, there are still some left on the ground.
Yeah, I don't know any other way. If we can figure out something else, I'm all ears, but as far as I'm concerned, once I get what I need, we can kill Isabella.
How did she get Nina?
I don't know. She messaged me and told me that if I bring her the eyes, I would be able to bring Nina back. I have her here, and I sort of hold the little sack up. I have half of Nina here. Isabella's got the other half.
So you did steal the eyes. It wasn't Shakara? It was you?
Not really stealing. He told us we could have them anyway. We just took them earlier than he expected.
Yeah, well then his suit of armor stopped working, and the eyes could have helped him.
I didn't know anything about that. How are the eyes connected to the armor?
Well, it's sort of a working theory we have.
We're not totally sure, but Samuel's basically comatose now, and the armor won't come off of him.
Well, Nyogi's gone, right?
Ish. Sort of.
The Nyogi god is either dead or more or less vanquished, and As
Look, we get Nina back, and I'll help you get these eyes over to Sammy, and so he can take off his armor.
I'm all for getting Nina back, Shaft, but we can never let Isabella have both of those eyes. We gotta trick her or some. I don't know, but
I agree. I was going to show her one of the eyes, and tell her we have the other one. Give me what I want, and you can have the last one. And then after that, sort of play it by ear.
Yeah, we really need to make sure she doesn't have both. I think that's extremely dangerous from what I understand. Do you remember anything about a scythe, Shaft?
It was something in that book. Limerick, I think, right?
Right, like we're thinking the armor's not working because he doesn't have all the parts. We never got a scythe.
Well, if the Nyogi are gone, why do we want to help Sammy become more powerful with...
well, at this point, it's more of,
Getting it off, I guess.
like Mia said, it's fused to him, and he's in some sort of, I don't know. He's unresponsive. We can't heal him.
You know, I'm sort of torn here. He tried to kill us.
We can sleep on it, but we can't let Isabella win. We just got a big win for Aspara, kicking the Nyogi god out of here, so... They call him K, by the way. If you ever hear K, that's just, his nickname. Anyway, we kicked K out of here, and so, now what? Then Dendar's gonna take over? More problems. We can't let that happen.
Well, right now Shakara has both eyes. She's got one in a box, and the other one is going to go in this box. And I sort of hold up the lead box that I had. They got to be in here, or we're going to have big problems.
Is there any chance that Shakara was flying to the cave? Because we saw a blue light in the sky.
The tracks here is probably her horse she can summon. Dragging somebody along. I assume Horik, because Horik was with her when we got separated, and she messaged me, said Horik was missing. Maybe she found him, dragging him along.
But this light, it was unmistakably the same color of blue, and it was way up in the sky.
Traveling very quickly as well.
Yeah, we couldn't catch up.
I mean, we got the other thing that, Shakara sort of wants the eyes too. And she has both of them.
Do you think she really wants them for herself? I don't know.
I mean, she could have already given them to Isabella, I guess.
I don't think she wants to give them to Isabella. I think she wants to dispatch Isabella. Keep the eyes for herself. Remember, she's got a good friend in Dindar.
Right. How did you get the message to come here then? Shakara must have relayed my message.
She did.
Then yeah, she must be on our side, right?
I find it hard to believe that Shakara thinks bringing Dendar back is a good idea.
I don't know. I think for right now we've been working together pretty well, but you never know when the rubber meets the road. And
I was working really well with the Nyogi god in Falzarin's body, so what do I know?
Look, Mia, you need to stop beating yourself up. I'm exhausted. I think we all are looking pretty rough around the edges. Let's get a good night's sleep, and maybe tomorrow we'll have clearer minds.
When we meet up with Shakara, let's sort of get an assessment here of what we think's going to happen. If we all thumbs up and feel that she's on our side to take out Isabella and destroy the eyes or take them back to Sammy, I'm all in. If we think she's going to bring a Dindar back, then I'm Nina and I'm getting Nina and I'm out of here.
I certainly hope that's not what we have to deal with, but yes, let's get a rest. So Falzarin starts doing what you've seen him do many times now, summoning this, or conjuring this tiny hut in the kind of little nook where Shaft had been sleeping.
So we want to take another full 8 hours, so both Mia and Falls, so that would mean all the three of you could get in a long rest. That's the goal here.
I guess so, yeah. If Shaft thinks that that's a reasonable plan, he's been on this trail and been conversing with Shakara more recently than we have, so yeah.
I just think we probably need to be at full strength before we run into her and then take off. It could go south quickly.
Now that we know Shakara and Shaft are split up, it makes sense to just rest. And she obviously got our message and planned to be there if she relayed it to Shaft,
If she's got a horse, she's going faster than I could go.
Right. And maybe she's already resting, so it's we don't know what to expect.
How many more hours do we need to be able to get a full long rest?
It's going to be a full 8 for Falzarin and Mia. You're less than 2 from the cave itself.
So while we're sitting in the tiny hut, So remember, we got both of these eyes. Probably a good idea that we, if you're not currently, have the tower cube enabled. Might not be a bad idea. That thing will suck you dry.
Well, Shaft, I believe my cube is with you.
Yeah, well, I sort of tap my pockets and stuff. Horik has it. So, I mean, if we get there and Horik's with Shakara, you can check it out there.
I suppose that part of me thinks maybe you took mine, so I should have the one that you have.
That is an interesting way of looking at it.
Well, while you're discussing, Alamar has the cube that Mia gave to him, and he's already started the attunement process.
Are you kidding me, Thuftamar? That was just to help Samuel. You think you're gonna use that more than me this time?
Well, it could come in handy for any one of us.
Shaft, can I see those shackles? I need to reattune to them. Please?
Well, let's meet up with Shakara and find out how we want to use them. It could come in handy.
You're saying you don't want them to be me?
No, I'm saying we got to figure out what the best. Maybe it won't be me. Let's figure out how we can best use the resources we have when we're going in to see Isabella.
Well, I don't really need this circlet on my head anymore.
Yeah, me either.
We've got magical items I could use.
Yeah, let's meet up with Shakara and find out what we can do here.
I'm being really shafted right now.
No.
I look at him and then Thuftamar, pout a little bit and go to lay down. Doesn't feel like I just conquered the Neogi problem myself, doesn't feel like I just took down the Neogi god. It's fine. Mia, you're okay. It's all gonna be fine.
Alright, we'll talk about it in the morning. And I roll over.
Mia's deep breathing.
Falzarin just kind of sighs and beds down.
As we're laying there, I'm going to attune to the tower cube.
Okay.
You want me to get some kind of sleight of hand?
No, you can't hide that.
Okay. Oh, okay. I'll wait about an hour until everybody's snoring.
If there are any other attunements that the three of you would like to swap out, remember, Shaft, you don't have your bag of holding. So you only have your normal pack-sack, right? Your bag of holding has the other eye in it with Shakara. So anything that you had stored in there is with Shakara.
I got slots, but I don't have items.
So you will get your long rest, which means that you're no longer going to be pushing into a forced march the last few miles to the cave north of Zexa. Also, if any of you have a level of exhaustion, that is gone now. A single level is gone from the 8 hours. Now with this 8 hours, we're approaching into the late afternoon now, right? The three of you kind of were traveling overnight into the early morning to midday, where you kind of bed down now. So it's nearing the end of this day again, right? As you are fully rested and able to continue. If I assume that's what you want to do.
Yeah. All right, we ready to go?
As ready as I'll ever be. I am feeling much better.
Yeah. Took the words out of my mouth. Feeling much better.
Okay, I think we head towards the cave.
Fast pace, normal pace?
Fast pace.
Fast.
Fast pace, you're there in just over an hour. Shaft and Falzarin being the only ones that have physically been to this cave, you start to see some familiar surroundings, right? What you catch as you kind of approach, if you recall, there was a little clearing in front of the cave where the party had fought a gargoyle that was guarding outside of its entrance, where Chucky had been knocked unconscious during that fight. Bryn had slunk off on her own and snuck into the cave a little bit beforehand, right? Coming out before the rest of the party woke up the gargoyle. So you see the remains of that destroyed gargoyle. There's bits of it. Just looks like a statue has been toppled over and shattered, right? You can see chunks of wing and half of a gargoyle face, the stone just laying on the ground. But in addition to that, you get hit with this overwhelming smell of rotting and fetid body parts, and you can see that near the cave's entrance, a stack of them has been made severed limbs, torsos, a number of hands, all of which are in a very advanced state of decay. And kind of looming from the gloom of the cave's entrance, you see these two misshapen, clearly undead creatures. They too they're missing hands, strips of sour flesh kind of globbing off of them as they react to your presence, and we can roll initiative.
Why do you gotta say sour flesh like we're gonna eat or taste this? Like, we don't need a taste to describe flesh.
Oh, you
This
can
is
smell
disgusting.
how sour it would taste.
That's a 9 for Shaft.
8 for Mia.
Oh no.
10 for Falzern.
17.
Shakara, you are first.
So I am laying on the ground and I hear the zombies making noise. I will stealthily walk over as much as possible to the entrance of the cave and peer around, see what I can see.
Okay, you can roll me a stealth, and also you're moving at half speed.
With disadvantage, that is a 19.
That's good, but a dash, though, is only going to be 30 feet, which doesn't even get you to peering at the entrance of it. So you're on your move inside the cave, very quietly, though.
What is going on?
The two zombies, Shaft, me, and Falls, you see them begin to lurch from the entrance, and they're really just like lumps of flesh that look like they've been molded together. And they again, they're missing hands. They're almost as halfway between a zombie and a skeleton, because so many parts of the torsos are just rotted away with huge sections of exposed ribcage. And they both advance towards you, closing within about 30 feet of the three of you. Next is Falzern.
I will cast Ray of Frost at the one that is closest. 19 on the die, plus 9, 28 to hit.
Yeah, that's gonna hit.
This poor bugger. 10 cold damage.
Okay, and your Ray Frost, like right on target into the middle of this fleshy mound, and it just starts to like crystal over and then falls backwards. Sections of it that you frozen kind of shattering, and one is down. Shaft.
So I sort of take the collar of my shirt, sort of pull it over my mouth and my nose. Go, God. All right, and let's just get rid of these things. Sort of meander up slowly, not really worrying too much about these things. They look like as sour as they are, they'll go down pretty easy. And just sort of walk up with the scimitar and slash across, trying to take one of its arms off. 17 to hit, 14 points of slashing damage.
And that too is more than enough. You slash through again flesh, rotting flesh, and exposed bone, and it just crumples into a heap.
I sort of sidestep as it sort of falls down and walk back. I look back at Falzern and Mia go, come on!
Is this
Walk
like
into the cave.
a normal thing at this cave? Should we be on alert for more zombies?
They're nothing. They're just an annoyance. Like a gnat.
Shakara, you can clearly hear this as you're making your way to the entrance.
You know where you're going. I'll follow.
So I sort of walk in there and I yell in there, Shakara!
Shaft, it is good that you made it. Did you find Horik?
No, I was hoping he was with you.
I'll walk farther towards them.
And they finally come into view for you, Shakara.
No, he left me at the sewers.
They're with me. And I sort of point back.
I see.
Shakara, you see, obviously, with Shaft, Mia, Falzern, and Thup the Younger.
Tell me, Mia. Did you run to Samuel Cultist the second you had a chance to betray us? Or did it take some bribe, some doing on his part?
For what are you talking about?
You told him everything about us.
What do you mean?
You told him about the weapons. You told him about all of Shaft's contacts. They hunted us down. They tried to kill us.
It's all water under the bridge. We
Is
have
it?
bigger fish to fry. Yeah. I mean, we can have this discussion after we take care of our other problem.
I didn't give any information that I didn't think was necessary. Like, I was trying to...
Necessary! And you see my skin just goes from, like, this purple normal color, just floods with blue, and it is now a bright blue everywhere.
I take 2 steps to the side.
Let's everybody just settle down.
Shakara, what's happened to you?
We were put under a zone of truth. I think maybe that's what you're thinking of.
Zone of truth does not mean you need to tell all.
That's fair, but...
Shakara, I'm just glad you're okay.
I spent days in the sewers.
I reach in my bag, I pull out the lead box, and I stuff it over towards Shakara and go, "Here, this is more important than an argument right now."
And I will grab the lead box, and when I do, you see that my entire arm, and if you look, both arms, are blackened and withered, and you can just make out this thorny-looking, viney brand on both of them.
Oh my goodness, Shakara, what
Something
happened?
has changed.
I did what I needed to do to protect all of us.
Are you okay?
And what does that mean?
It means sacrifices were made, but I am fine.
It's fine. Shaft's right. We don't have time for this.
Yeah, get the other eye, put it in the box. Falzer doesn't even have a cube.
I don't have one either, Shaft. And I also don't have shackles.
I have a cube.
Who are you? Why is Thuff the Younger here?
This is Thuftamar.
Hello,
What?
Shakara.
Alamar?
Yes, my form has changed. He motions your hands. Seemingly much like yours have.
And I'll just look at him for a minute. I better understand where you were coming from now, and why you did what you did.
I would have done anything for Heracleon. I still will do anything to keep my home safe.
That's good to know, because it may come to that.
And kind of from behind Shakara, Grimby and Halsa appear, and they're clearly with her. And, Grimby, they've heard what's been going on, right? So they kind of pick their moment to come out. And Grimby is like, "Hi, it's good to see you. Shaft, you're alive."
Hey! What? Why weren't you... I thought you were in the ship.
No. That wasn't meant to be. Me and Fulgen know that already, but
Listen. I'm really sorry, Grimby. Do you forgive me?
I
never meant for it to hurt you in that way. I honestly just wanted to find Shakara and Shaft.
That was your doing as well.
Okay, Shakara. Look. I know, Mia. I know you always have the best intentions there, huh? And he kind of goes to Mia, and again, hand on your shoulder, kind of gives Falsey a hug, reaches out to clasp hands with Shaft, and as he reaches for a shake for Shaft, you all see that on Grimby's hand he has a very similar, almost like a reversal of what was on Shakara's hand, the kind of the viney brand you see. So he's sporting something of his own.
Is his hand also withered, or just has the...
His hands are not withered, but just has the new kind of brand on kind of runs up his forearm a little bit.
Did I miss a wedding?
Oh, and Grimby kind of strokes his beard.
I'll go stand next to him.
A bit of sorts, I would say.
Some sort of ceremony?
Grimby and I are one.
Oh, well, congratulations.
I'll nod to you.
I sort of look over at Grimby, and look at Shakara, and I go, whatever floats your boat, I guess, right?
Or flies your boat?
That's too soon, Mia. A little too soon.
Oh, sorry. Honestly, it was chaos. I'm glad you were out of the thick of it. The battle was fierce. So many died.
And the Neogi god?
As far as we know, I'm not convinced he's dead, but he's gone.
We're off the hook.
Well, in Shaft's words, we're off the hook. There's still a lot of Neogi left to track down.
Yes, it does seem like the majority of the Neogi threat is gone, at least for now. You've maybe noticed the eruption from the Vorgrag Mountains, but that was part of their escape plan. They had a bunch of vessels underneath the mountains that were ejected up and away, essentially.
Yeah, but a lot less reached the wild space than they wanted, so, many of ours perished as well. And Shakara, we really do need to talk. It's going to be okay.
What is?
I never meant for them to hunt you, to kill you. Listen, we thought we needed the eyes to defeat the gods, and it turns out that we kind of fought Kay, our nickname for Karklashpach. We kind of fought him without Samuel, pretty much.
And Samuel? Where is he?
He's gravely ill, or something.
We thought that the eyes being gone was what was perhaps the missing piece that's responsible for the state that Samuel is now in. He's unconscious, cannot be woken or healed from the state that he's in, and the armor has essentially stopped functioning and is fused around his body.
Again, we're off the hook.
Yeah, we don't want him to forever have the armor, but we didn't mean to take out the leader of great and brave people that saved Aspara.
Great and brave people that also tormented and tortured people.
Who, Sammy?
The paladins under his care, under his watch.
I don't agree with torture. Listen, I've talked to Dreg about it. It's not like I was taking Samuel's side on that situation.
Did you have a hand in Dreg leaving me as well?
No.
Where has Dreg gone to?
Dreg has left my family. To be by himself. To try and research a way to destroy the eyes.
Perfect. That works for me.
Which brings us to the question at hand.
I would appreciate everybody helping me get Nina back from Izzy. After that, I'm in it till the end. If we want to kill her, but I think these eyes need to be destroyed.
I mean, I think Falzarin and I were in agreement. We're willing to help you as long as Isabella is never in possession of both eyes for the plan.
I think we give her one of them so she knows we have it. Tell her we have the other.
I do not know it is safe to give Isabella either eye.
Let's give her none, but I'm in. I just don't want to give her the eyes.
I hold up the sack again. Remember, half of Nina's in this sack, and Isabella has the other. Until they're back together again, we can't kill her.
Shaft, you do not know that it will work.
I don't, but until I know it won't, we have to try.
Isabella does not tell the full truth.
I understand, and we are not going to tell the full truth either.
What do you know of the eyes, Elamar?
I am simply in agreement with all of you by the sounds of it. They should not be in Isabella's hands. Them coupled with the power of Heraklion itself is why she sought to take it from me.
What power is in Heraklion?
The same power the cult of Grey Lakina attempted to harness. The island itself stands upon a weak spot in the fabric of the plains. If there were a place in Aspara to reopen a portal to wherever Dendar is imprisoned, it would be there.
What do you know of the scythe?
Only that it too played a role in the banishing of Dendar and Father Limerick.
Do you have the scythe, Shakara?
I do not.
Oh. Because that might help the armor too, I don't know.
I have seen Dendar and Father Limerick and a man I believe to be Kalar
Where?
in a vision. I connected with the eyes, and I'll hold up my hands. I spoke with Dendar, sort of.
And what does Dendar want?
To be free?
Of course.
And what do you think of that, Shakara?
That if she were to become free, as Isabella desires, she will be a worse threat to this land than the Neogi could ever hope to be. She will destroy everything.
You see Falzarin kind of visually sort of just relaxes, and you hear him breathe a bit of a sigh of relief. I'm glad to hear you say that, Shakara.
Did you honestly believe that I was wanting to free Dendar? That I was wanting to bring down death and destruction on this entire planet?
No, I didn't, but it's nice to have confirmation from your lips of what I hoped and believed to be your intents.
I am not that far gone yet.
And I didn't think that, but...
Falzarin was prepared to kill you, if necessary.
I'll walk up to Falzarin and put my hand on his shoulder.
If it comes to that, please, do.
It's not going to come to that, Shakara.
Shakara. I'm so glad you're still here with us.
I am holding on. I have changed, as you can tell.
I look her up and down and give her, like, extreme eye contact, and I say, like, I'm sorry. I see the sacrifices you're making.
Outward and inward, I am not the same person I was when we first met.
Neither am I.
I'm pretty much the same.
We can always count on you for that, Shaft.
And Falzarin's really Falzarin. Did you hear he was taken over by a Neogi god?
What?
Yeah, it's kind of funny now.
Perhaps a story for another time.
Falzarin, how do you keep getting yourself into these situations?
It's only funny because we came out on top, okay? I don't think we could be... okay, Drakal is, like, boiling right now.
To be fair, from what I understand, it was more of a result of things that happened when I was not around. The deal that was made with the person who was previously occupying this body, and I look over to Thuftamar, that is what led to Kay being brought back to this plane in my body.
Again, that's how I didn't get the note saying you guys left on purpose, and I thought someone stole you or you got in trouble. I didn't know under what circumstances you guys left.
What note?
Shaft left a note when you guys left.
I see.
Yeah, just trying to keep everybody informed.
Right. We can't just split up without telling each other. Come on.
That worked well.
The note was left on my person, which was inhabited by a Neogi god, so yes.
The Neogi god. Ugh.
So all this is just a big misunderstanding.
Sort of, I guess.
What are we gonna do about Izzy?
Kill her.
I believe that is our only option.
Can we do it?
The 4 of us, 5, 6, 7 of us together? I believe so.
How do we get her off Heraklion? Is she stronger on Heraklion because of its power? And I look at Thuftamar.
I do not know what additional connection she may have with a place such as Heraklion. I personally never benefited from any additional power other than that gained from my studies.
She's expecting Shakara and I to bring her the eyes.
Okay.
We go through the portal.
Like today?
The sooner the better.
I don't know that I am ready.
And you can see I'm just barely standing there, and when I move, I move slowly.
Well, I suppose there's not any real urgency to get there immediately.
There is one more thing you need to know. The portal network has been activated twice. So either Isabella is not on Heraklion, or someone is there with her. Mayhaps Jessica.
Oh, right. I keep forgetting there's another one.
Power 3.
Speaking of Shakara, you, in proximity of both Isabella and this Jessica will make all three of you stronger as well.
Yes, there is that too.
That's not good. Maybe I should go. Tell her I have the eyes.
You're not taking the eyes.
I can use the shackles to leave after I get what I want. With the eyes, of course. Or with an eye.
Let Shakara fight the fight she wants to fight. We've been wanting Isabella for so long. Don't take that from her.
Yeah, but what Alamar says, if she's with the other two, it's going to make them that much harder to take care of.
It would still be all of us against the two of them.
Think about it. Grimby will probably be powerful too. They're one.
Is being part of this coven somehow give them the ability to change sides? Have you changed sides?
They have no control over my mind. No more so than yours.
I don't know how covens work. I figure if you're making them stronger, there must be some connection.
There is a connection, yes. But we do not think as one.
Do we want to prepare more and just fight her with the three of them together? But, I mean, like, call in all our friends. Get Dreg back here. Get Campbell. Like, get everybody.
Dreg is in no shape to fight.
And like I said, I don't want to kill her until I get Nina back.
She gives you a bag and says it's the other half. How do we even know till you...
I gotta find out if she can be put back together. Look, if Nina's not really there, and there's no way to do it, then I'm gonna kill her myself. I want to go there and try to get Nina back. If we go in and kill her right off the bat, that's for nothing. I lose everything that I want.
We can try to negotiate first.
You are in charge of negotiating, Shaft. I will give you that.
We do not give her the eyes at any point.
We have both eyes. What she knows and what she doesn't know, I'm not aware of. She may know we have them.
Can we show up without them so that there's no chance she can get them? What happens if she gets them, Shakara? Even just one, you said.
Perhaps that's not a bad idea, Mia. We keep the eyes off of Heraklion, but tell her they're not far, and she has her portal system. She can travel to get them easily enough.
I don't think she's going to give me Nina until she has the eyes in her hand. We need to be able to give her what she wants and then take them away, or kill her instantly.
Could we lure her off of Heraklion through the portals?
I look at Shakara. You're the portal master.
I have no way to contact her, other than going there myself.
Right. I wonder if you or Shaft or both of you go there, and maybe you say you want to have this discussion or this exchange in a more neutral place back here.
Why don't Shakara attune to the shackles? Put the shackles here next to the portal. We go through the portal. We tell her we have the eyes, and I find out if she's lying about Nina. Then we can disappear. They won't know. She won't know where we went. If we go through the portal, she'll know we went through the portal.
It's a good idea.
You keep the eyes. We go through the portal. We see what we find out what we know. We'll tell her we have the eyes and can get them. If she gives me Nina. If she lies to me, we portal out of there with the shackles.
So we're giving Balzer in the eyes.
They can stay here with everybody. In the lead boxes. I look at Shakara.
Okay, give me an ankle bracelet and study this thing.
Okay, I hand the shackles over to Shakara.
I am fine with this plan, but you do know, Isabella will not give you Nina without the eyes.
Unless you're going to give me the eyes to go get her back myself. This is the only way.
I think this is the best option that we have available to us. We can't risk giving her the eyes.
If something goes wrong, how do we find you? Do you know how to operate this portal, Falzarin?
Not effectively.
I give him a look.
Okay, so what do we do?
We wait. But, Shakara, you need to rest first.
And I sit down. That is the extent of my ability to stand.
You've all kind of, you haven't quite moved into the cave. You're all kind of in this entrance here, so you can move into the actual cave itself. And really what Mia, Falzer, and Shaft are seeing, most of what's kind of the state of this cave is basically the way, like, the last time Shaft and Falzer were here is what it looks like. So Mia, you kind of step into this for the first time for your character, and there's kind of a fire pit in the center of it. There's a number of overturned tables, and there's a smash table that looks like it's been cleaved in half with a axe. And it, like, immediately as you turn the corner into it, you just see this pulsing blue, like 15-foot radius, coming from a bag of holding, laying in the furthest left corner from where you as you're kind of looking into the cave. Kind of on the opposite, the right-handed corner is where there's a bulk of, like, there's an armor rack and a weapon rack and overturned tables pushed up against with the wooden frame of the coven portals into the rock itself. The rotting smell that you all were hit with from the parts outside is kind of much lessened inside the cave itself, but you can see clearly where bits of sticky, like, putrefied flesh from where they were laying inside of the cave. And I mean, it seems, other than that, it's fairly empty in here. There's still, like, a variety of kind of ordinary weapons that have been, again, some still attached to the weapon rack that was shoved in front of the portal.
Why is that pulsing blue over there?
It started recently. I do not know why.
Is it the eyes? No, they're in boxes.
We only had one box.
Yeah. We need to box the other one up.
Were you flying with that by any chance?
Yes.
How were you flying?
It is a gift from Dendar.
Do you have wings? Look at her.
Not currently, no.
We saw you. We saw the blue light. We knew it was Dendar's light. Couldn't catch up to it.
I was trying to escape the mountain you blew up.
I mean, yeah. The Nyogi blew it up. But, yeah.
If we destroy these eyes, you're probably not going to have these amazing gifts anymore.
I am aware.
Let's box that thing up.
Go right ahead.
I don't have the cube, so I'm not touching it.
I have the cube in my hand. I will go over.
The cube protects you from the first immediate exposure. You automatically pass your con save, and you're able to retrieve your bag, and you're going to have to pull it from it, which means you're going to have to make contact. As you do so, you can make me a Constitution saving throw. The cube, again, is going to give you advantage on this at a DC 15.
I got a 21.
The briefest moment of contact before you slide it into this lead box and slam it shut. And, I mean, you all, like, those that have handled the box, you see that it's very hastily...
It's a very nice box.
It's not a very nice box. It's very hastily constructed. You can see there's, like, overlapping bits of metal around the corners that have been riveted and hammered together, and it's, like, barely containing, and it's, like, just big enough. It's about yay big, just large enough to fit the eye. And
who made this thing?
Shaft, you slam it shut.
Can't believe it. He only had like 5 minutes. Okay, so then I take the bag of holding, and I stick it back in the bag of holding.
It would have been nice to have had one of those cubes the last few days.
Yeah, it wasn't easy to get, let me tell you.
What happened to yours?
It, blew up.
What do you mean?
When I handled the eyes and contacted Dendar,
Oh.
it shattered the cube.
No touching the eyes for me. That's why they go to Falzarin. You study the shackles. Here, let me help you feel better. Because long rest will only get... Are you going to long rest? Do you need a long rest?
I have 3 levels of exhaustion, so your spell will take care of 1, a long rest would take care of 1, and then I still have 1, which would be disadvantage on ability checks.
So what I was thinking was, I have this Greater Restoration. It's a 5th level spell. I have 2 slots. plus the ring gives me an extra slot. I have 6 level slot. Like, basically, I could cast it 3 times.
That would take care of it for me.
And I could take an hour to get the ring slot back, or even, like, cast it from the ring, take an hour, cast it from the ring, take an hour. We know you're at least going to attune for an hour, so there's 1.
Shakara's got a lot of shit wrong with her, so I don't know if Emily wants to go over the list, but it's a lot of stuff.
It reduces exhaustion by 1, so if I have to choose exhaustion, or I could end Charmed Petrified, I could end a curse, or an attunement to a curse magic item, or any reduction to your ability scores, or effect of reducing the target's hit point maximum. So, Shakara, here, and I, like, go up and touch her shoulder, and I touch her with a positive, like, a little zap of electricity goes to her, and I get rid of 1 level of exhaustion. And that'll be from the ring.
Oh, already that feels much better.
And that's using the 5th level from the ring. Now the ring also has a 6th level. So I'm going to use the 6th level in the ring to get rid of another exhaustion. And then I'm going to short rest while she attunes to the ring, and that recharges those 2 slots.
Yes, that's right. Well, so shackles, right? While Shakara attunes to the shackles.
Yes. So I could do it all. I could do 2 more slots on the ring an hour later, which can reduce your increase your strength back and remove the last exhaustion. So the whole thing takes 2 hours.
Sounds good. Okay, that's not too bad. That's pretty good.
It's powerful.
Yeah, that's
good thing for a healer to have on a
pretty
short
wild.
rest situation.
Okay, so 2 back-to-back short rests gets you all those slots back, and you're pretty much refreshed, right? As per the magic item.
I am back to what I was at. Yeah.
She's doing that. I'm going to take the catching orb out of the bag of holding and put it in my other bag and walk over to Falzarin with the bag of holding that has the 2 eyes in it. Reach up, put my hand on his shoulder, and I go, look him in the eye, go, Falzarin? Falzarin?
Yes, Shaft.
And I hand him the bag, and I go, here are the eyes. Take care of them.
Okay.
I want him to have the bag with the eyes of Dindar in them, and I want to take the bag with Nina in it with me.
Does it matter if one person has both eyes? Like, we shouldn't be worried, should we? Like, do we need to split them up?
As long as they're in the lead box.
Yeah, I mean, you saw, like, as Shaft closed the box on the light, like, the lead itself contains the radius, right? Because it's clear that the material of the bag of holding wasn't doing anything to contain its powers.
Okay.
And then I'm going to hand Falzarin the tower cube and go, here, you can borrow mine.
Well, that's very kind of you, Shaft. Falzarin kind of like chuckles a little bit under his breath.
I feel like I'm missing something.
Basically, Shakara, with Mia's efforts and the power of Thor, Shakara, like, you feel...
Huzzah!
You literally feel the best you felt in, like, 3 days.
Yes.
Right?
I told you, if Dendar doesn't work out,
Thor
Thor's got you.
Now that so your maximum strength reduction is no longer affecting you because of the last greater restoration, but that unfortunately does not do anything for the physical look of your withered hands, right? It's just you just have a renewed strength that you haven't felt for a number of days. Okay, so what is the time frame now? Are we gonna enact this plan like right now?
I think once everybody is healed up and there's no point in waiting anymore, there's nothing else we need to do.
And it's just the 2 of you, everyone else is back with us?
Yeah, I mean, for now, I put the shackles on you. Or I hand them to you and go, here.
Does Grimby go everywhere you go now, Shakara?
Grimby, do you want to go with us?
I don't think the 2 of you should be going off just by yourselves there. I'd definitely be coming with you.
Hulsa, I will not make you go confront Isabella.
Hulsa, she's kind of like wringing her hands, right? And she pulls out her little notepad that she has, right? And scribbles out, where the 2 of you go, I follow.
I welcome you.
Then Gribby will get to start clearing the debris in front of this kind of corner, right? And he starts to pull on one of the tables on the other side of it, which would have been pressed up against the wall. You see that there's like a number of like claw and bite marks in it as Grimby uncovers a like 3.5 foot hole in the wall, like a tunnel. Again, that Falzarin and Shaft, you know, I guess maybe seeing it kind of refreshes, like, oh, of course this was here. A number of things came out of it. It was never actually investigated where it goes to. But Grimby kind of, I didn't even know this was here.
That's interesting. I wonder where it goes.
And Grimby will just continue to clear the portal and all the stuff in the corner here.
Is it any different from what we remember? Like, has it gotten bigger than when we last saw
It
it?
doesn't look like it.
And that's where the little hands came out of, right?
No, that's where the insect-like bugs that kind of chittered in your brains telepathically, and they had the kind of this fear aura that actually none of you even succumbed to it during that fight.
Well, I can't fit in there, so I just start helping Grimby.
There are some kind of nasty little creatures that came out of there last time I was here.
You were here before.
Briefly. Long ago.
Did you cause this mess?
We didn't straighten the place up, that's for sure.
Yeah, this has Shaft written all over it as I start picking up stuff by the door and tossing it.
You know, actually, a lot of the destruction was caused by a friend that's no longer with us. I think you would have liked her, Mia.
I pour a little water out of my water bottle.
I mean, you've told me about her. You're talking about Gozer, right?
Yes. She was very strong and brave.
Look at this thing. One slice at the table. Incredible.
Where does this lead?
We don't know.
Looks like you'll fit. Why don't you investigate?
Detour.
Walk over there and I sort of look down into it as far as I can see clearly.
Nearing the end of your dark vision, right, you see that it kind of starts to open up into another kind of chamber.
I sort of look back at everybody and take a sort of sigh and go, all right, give me a minute. And I go in. Slowly.
Okay, you want to be stealth?
Yeah. 26.
Shaft, you're creeping down, about 60 feet or so, and you get into it's not as large as the cave itself that this tunnel connects to, but it's more like a 20 by 20 foot, maybe 10 foot high ceilings, right? You kind of creep out into this new opening, and you see the what look like dead creatures of those insect-like, those bipedal insect. I think at the time we were calling them scorpion bugs or something, which they don't look like scorpions, but you see one that is dead now. It looks like it doesn't look like there's any weapon marks on it or anything, but it is clearly deceased. And on the back wall, you can see where some of the stone here has been excavated, or at least excavated semi-recently, as there's piles of rubble kind of stacked up on either side of this kind of concave section dug into the stone wall here underground now, as this tunnel did kind of angle downwards at like a 45-degree angle. So you're deeper now below the ground level. And in it, you see there's like an imprint, almost as if it's like a mold that you would cast something from, and it looks like a curved blade, very long, maybe about 2 feet long, and it's again like the impression, like the negative image of
A scythe?
like a casting of something that looks like a farming implementation. Yes.
I'll walk up to it and sort of reach out and touch it, feeling secret doors, investigating it.
Okay, give me an investigation then.
15.
Doesn't seem like there's anything like it seems like it's a ordinary stone wall, right? And as you're kind of running your fingers over it, you can kind of feel where it's rough in some areas from tool marks and chips. Now, as you get up close to it, the impression itself, it's like at the end where if a scythe was the thing that caused this indentation, where it would connect to like a hilt, you see that it's like as if it's been broken there.
An alleged scythe.
Yeah, I was alleged.
So you mean like the scythe was only part of the scythe is imprinted, and then there's like a part of the handle that's broken off and was never imprinted into the stone?
So there's no handle in there, but the imprint is of the blade, and the end of the blade that would attach to the handle, like it's like it's been sheared off there, and it's like a jagged edge kind of imprinted into the stone.
So it's like 90% of the blade is imprinted in there, and then it looks like the last 10% that would have connected to the handle wasn't. There's no imprint from that.
Correct. That's exactly right.
I mean, I'll look around for a little while on the floor, or look for any kind of, if there's any blade pieces or anything around anywhere, and if not, I'll head back out.
Other than the rubble and the dead creature, that's all you found.
I'll climb back out of the hole, and I'll say, "Hey, has anybody found a piece of this scythe anywhere?"
Not that I'm aware of.
No, I was asking you that.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, because down this hole here, there's this place that looks like you clearly would place a piece of the scythe here. Maybe it's Daddy Limmick's place.
So someone has found a piece of the scythe.
Yeah, it looks like somebody's just been carving that out recently, too.
Jeez. At least it's not the whole thing, I guess?
That we're aware of. They could already have the other pieces.
Is that hole far too small for it to be possible for Falzarin to squeeze through it?
No. Like a medium-sized creature could squeeze it down there. Yeah.
Shaft, show me what you found.
And sort of lead him down that way.
Okay, and then so Falzarin kind of takes a look at it. Looks like how Shaft described. Is there any sort of familiar, recognizable patterns to how this was dug out? Like, does it look like any tunnels Falzarin has seen dug in other places? Like as though it were an Umber Hulk, or...
I mean, nothing strikes you as being unique in any way. It's definitely not the size of an Umber Hulk tunnel. As you know, those tunnels are like 10 by 10 huge tunnels, like the size of an Umber Hulk. The dead creature that you see in here is like halfling size, like it's like 3 feet tall max, right? Which again is a suitable size for the tunnel that is dug.
Does it look like that creature has the means to dig through rock like this? Like, could it be the creature that was digging this?
The stone where the indent is, probably not, but the tunnel and kind of that wall of the cave is more dirt.
Okay.
Yeah, it would be much easier for a creature or even like a humanoid to dig through the side of the dirt and could form a tunnel like that. But the stone itself, again, when Shaft was looking at it, like there's clearly like tool marks that had chipped away at the rubble, causing the rubble piles to basically unearth the blade that was in this stone.
Falzarin is going to reach into his bag of holding and pull out the Wand of Secrets.
I thought you were going to say pull out the blade pieces.
I'm going to use the Wand of Secrets and see if that reveals anything.
Your use of the wand does not detect any hidden traps or doorways or anything like that.
Okay.
How about each you give me a history check?
17.
A nat 20 for 27.
Shaft and Falzarin. Again, as you're looking at this and considering where you are located, like I think immediately what would spring to mind is the cultist family myth that you have found and uncovered in one of his many journals, right? Where it's noted that throughout the millennia since the banishing, like every member of the cultist family had this like mantra or family motto ingrained in them, right? The verses reading as, handed down what's rightfully yours, among trees that scrape the sky you lie, closest to gold yet far more precious, far below the river's fork, set off for climates of snow and orc. Those verses, which the party did do an adequate job of kind of decoding to match up where pieces of the armor had been hidden, right? A second verse finishes off the mantra. A farmer's aid in arid landscapes. Windows of your soul split to keep them. Not of the coast, but water seeps towards them. And again, you had previously theorized that this second set of verses would pertain to not the armor, but the scythe and the eyes of Dendar.
Well, that makes sense. This is what the book said. This is the arid landscape. This is where the scythe was.
Yeah, you're right. Well, piece of it anyway.
So that means that we don't just have to worry about Dendar. Somebody's going to bring back Father Limmick. Or keeping Father Limmick from coming back.
Or perhaps they feel that they can harness some power from this ancient artifact.
Can I hear them from where they're at or no?
Falzern, I think, would make his way back out.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and Mia like chimes in. Mia's like, or is keeping the scythe and eyes from Samuel just, now he's stuck.
Why would they be keeping the scythe from Samuel?
Our only guess is that there's something missing that has caused the armor to trap Samuel like this. And we wondered if perhaps it were the eyes or the scythe or...
Mayhaps it is his own hubris in using the armor in the first place that has trapped him. Maybe that armor was never meant to be used again.
Sure, there's some sort of curse or something. I don't know. But even the spells that I used on you, Shakara, those were doing nothing. They do nothing to him. It's really powerful magic, whatever it is. Obviously, the poems, the book they were talking about, like, it's all linked.
Well, maybe Izzy came back and got it. You did say somebody used the portals.
That is correct. She may have it.
Be in her best interest to have it.
Yeah, don't be surprised if she does.
So, if we've now identified that this was one of the locations a piece of the scythe was at, what's remaining from the poem? Which locations have we not crossed off the list?
I thought we crossed. I think it's all of them.
I think that was it, right?
Is that all of them?
So you know and have heard, Alamar himself told me and Falzern that what he knows is the scythe itself was also split into two and hidden away. The second stanza in this poem or family mantra really only speaks of 3 locations, 2 of which where the eyes were, right? And then this last one in Zexa. So it would seem that this entire mantra is not accounting for or not matching up with the information that you have gathered.
So we're missing a clue for the remaining piece of the scythe, basically. This doesn't seem to be in this little poem.
Or it's like both pieces were around here somewhere, like in the arid landscape potentially or something.
That is a possibility.
I suppose, I will expend another charge of the Wand of Secrets now that I'm back in the main room and see if that reveals anything.
Sure, is there any specific spot you'd like to try it as, what is it, a 30-foot radius, I believe, right? You may have to use a couple to encompass the entirety of the cave, but you can certainly do so.
Yeah, I think I will. I want to be thorough in case, because I feel like, we're missing something here.
Really, the only thing that does light up as being like a passageway is the portal itself. Is obviously you know how it functions and what it is, but at face value, it just looks like a wooden frame set into the stone wall, right? So that's the only thing that your wand detects.
Okay.
Alamar kind of pipes up. Shakara, you spoke of seeing Dendar, Limmick, and Kalar? They were together?
Yes, trapped. They could not move, they could not speak.
Perhaps it is a single prison. Opening it to free one frees all.
That would make sense. So then you would need all the pieces.
That sounds very bad.
Every key for each lock.
Including the armor.
If Of course.
Where is Samuel?
We last saw him at the tower. He's surrounded by guards. I mean, it looked like the lava wasn't going to hit them there, but they might have had to move.
Isabella would need the armor as well.
Are there any portals you're aware of, Shakara, that would lead her more close to where the tower is? Or are there any portals in Drukal?
If there were, Shakara would have used them to get here instead of flying.
What she said.
So what you're implying is that even if she had both eyes of Dindar, she couldn't accomplish what she wants to accomplish without the armor.
And the scythe.
And the scythe.
Well, we are making some assumptions. I don't know that we can be certain. And Shaft, if I can guess where your line of thinking is going, I really don't think we should risk giving her the eyes in the hopes that that won't be enough.
I sort of smile at Falzarin. I'm proud of you, buddy.
Especially if she has the sight, then all she needs is the armor. Shaft, smarten up. We can't give her the eyes.
I didn't say we were going to give her the eyes. I'm just thinking. So that doesn't change our plan currently.
I suppose it doesn't.
To go talk to her.
Yeah, maybe we can get a little more information now that we think we know a little bit more.
So if you zap back here in a hurry because she wants to fight, what's the plan then?
I don't know. We have to find out what's going to happen. We don't know the information yet.
We're right by a portal. She could find us pretty quickly.
Not if we use the shackle. She has no idea where we went.
Sure. Please don't ever, say something so she knows where you were, where we are.
Shakara, will she be able to be aware of which portals are being used in order to know where you and Shaft are coming from?
Exactly.
I was just going to say, I do not. But that does not mean that she does not.
That's what I'm saying. You zap back here, she knows where we are, potentially.
I suppose that's worst case scenario, that she's able to know where you and Shaft came from and can assume that that's where you're going back to, but we at least still have a head start, if that's the case.
I mean, unless we're going to take a boat, I don't think there's a better way.
And it would get her off of Heracleon.
That's true.
Hey, you got a boat?
Not yet.
It was a long shot, I know. I had to take the chance.
I think that's our best plan, really.
You guys can fly pretty fast. I hope she can't fly as fast as you, but she probably can.
Do you think Isabella can fly?
Why not? You can fly.
I look at Shakara and say, are you ready to go?
As I'm going to be.
Portal up.
Are you guys hungry? You want a quick snack? Should I do a hero's feast? I should have done that a while ago.
You still can.
I could eat.
Up to 12 creatures can partake of my feast. Mia's gonna lay out a feast while we're resting. And each creature that partakes gains several benefits. So all the NPCs as well. Cured of all diseases, poison, immune to poison, immune to being frightened, and all wisdom saves are with advantage. And then our hit point maximums increase by 2d10.
I raise a glass and go, wasn't as delicious as last time, but it does feel like a Last Supper.
Can't believe I almost forgot about this. Cheers, guys.
Yes, thank you, Mia. This is fantastic.
I used the 6th level spell slot out of my ring in case we somehow get an hour to rest to get it back.
Okay, yeah, I mean, immediately after you're done eating, you can attempt a short rest to again.
I can try.
Yeah, you absolutely
I will
can.
try.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
absolutely can. Okay, so Shaft and Shakara through the portal.
Through the portal.
Through the portal.
And that's our show. For more Aspara information, visit incorrigibleparty.com, where you can find all of our social media links, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, as well as our Patreon. Our patrons get exclusive content like blooper reels and patron-only mini-campaigns. Our theme music was created by Josh Jarvis. For any of your musical needs, you can contact him at jamesmercymusic@gmail.com. Well, the rest of our sounds and music throughout our plays, provided by tabletopaudio.com. And of course, our show sponsor, Critical Hit Design. For your design needs, visit criticalhitdesign.com. Happy adventuring. This has been a Sounds of Steel production.